The warm, suffocating humidity of the jungle floor is also ideal for the amphibians, who, in this way, almost never need an aquatic environment. Even crabs are perfectly at home in a place like this. However, this frog has good reason to distrust creatures with articulated limbs. Not all of them have good intentions. These pincers are those of a scorpion, armor-plated, poisonous, and out hunting. Too close to think of escaping. There are times in the life of a frog when it is best not to move a muscle. The scorpion's sensors are designed to detect heat or the slightest vibration from a tiny movement. It is a ferocious animal with a highly developed sense of touch that has been around for 420 million years, 200 million years before the dinosaurs first appeared. But the frog is a cold-blooded animal. In the jungles of Borneo, among the most beautiful orchids in the world, there is a monster that until recently was a pretty red and white flower. The Rafflesia is the largest flower in the world, an enormous cabbage over 1 meter in diameter that smells of rotting meat in order to attract the flies that will carry the pollen from the males to the females. After fertilization, a new alien will fix onto the host plant. The Rafflesia is a vegetable parasite. Other plant species have also had to develop alternative means of survival in an environment as competitive as this. In the kingdom of the diabolic flowers, there is one family that is particularly cunning and ruthless. Hidden among the tangle of conventional branches and leaves, there lie certain deadly traps. If the poor soil denies them nitrogen and phosphorus, they will simply have to kill to get them. They are the pitcher plants, or nepenthes. They grow throughout Southeast Asia, and here in Borneo there are 30 different species. They are true carnivorous plants, predators that feed on living flesh. They cannot move, so they have to find a way to attract their prey. No animal will approach unless you can offer them something appetizing, and so this plant invites them to a drink. Inside the nepenthes there is a liquid, a potent cocktail made of a little water, sweet juices, and a rather less inoffensive secret ingredient. Mosquito larvae are capable of growing in there and escape from the trap as soon as they are ready to fly. But others are not so fortunate. The nepenthes are attractively colored, smell wonderfully if you are an insect, and what is more, secrete a delicious nectar. So it's not surprising that they attract gatherings of invertebrates in search of strong emotions. This constant coming and going of individuals of all types is precisely what the plant wants, because it knows that sooner or later, one of them will become overconfident. The exquisite decorations around the edge of the recipient are in reality the fine line that separates life from death. Even someone with as many legs as this millipede can trip over and drop into oblivion. The secret ingredient of the deadly drink of the Nepenthes is a corrosive digestive juice capable of dissolving a living being and absorbing its rich nutrients. The Borneo stag beetle is not just any insect. Its black shell can measure up to 20 centimeters in length. But despite its armor-plated, warlike appearance, the stag beetle has a sweet tooth, and for these gourmets, the Nepenthes reserve their finest concoction. The delicious smell of nectar hangs in the humid air, filling the insect's chemical receptors. But the stag beetle is an expert climber. It has crampons and hooks at the end of its legs, so the trick of the slippery decorative edge does not work with him. However, the receptacle has a lid which serves two functions. On the one hand, it prevents the rain from flooding the flower, and on the other hand, it has nectar-producing glands, which is precisely what the insect heads for. And as he climbs up, there's always the chance that he will fall. The slightest false move and the deadly pool awaits. On his way back, the trap again awaits him, and as he climbs down from the lid, satiated with nectar, he has to again pass that way. And so the giant stag beetle starts to digest. Or rather, be digested. In the ancient jungles of Southeast Asia, there are at least 31 species of primates, of which 23 can be found nowhere else on Earth. The most numerous of these are the macaques, with 10 species. These ones are also called pigtail macaques. The macaques in general play a vital role in our health because hundreds of them die every year in laboratories, victims of experiments aimed at testing medicines and cosmetics for humans. We owe them a special respect for that because they are chosen precisely because they are so similar to us. Macaques are very social animals and live in troops of up to 40 individuals. In part, they have returned to the ground, a hostile environment, which is why they are so aggressive. So that their bad temper and the fact they live in groups do not cause constant fights, the macaques have developed a rigid social organization, a strict hierarchy based on different ranks, and governed by a true aristocracy. Among them, rank is inherited. A female of high status passes on this rank to her child. But the social position can change, for example, through alliances, and a good way of gaining favor with the chief is by cleaning his fur. In that way, cohesion and communication within the group are maintained. All their lives, the females belong to the group they were born into, while the males go to other families to reproduce. The little ones are not yet worried about those things. For the moment, they are protected by their mothers, who are always close by, watching them and ready to receive them whenever they need affection or company. The high-ranking mothers lavish love and care on their little heirs and make sure they play with children from good families. After all, someday they will perhaps form government coalitions. Meanwhile, it is the dominant male who warns of a danger. A monkey of a different species. Very big and with a strange nose. The macaque chief orders retreat. The cause for alarm is a group of Proccess monkeys. The Proccess are large monkeys weighing up to 24 kilos and with, to put it mildly, a rather startling appearance. They move about up in the trees as they do not like the ground at all. With incredible agility, they have to travel large distances to find the leaves, fruits, and seeds they like, and they are very choosy. They live in harems of up to 8 females with their young, and an adult male who constantly shrieks to warn off possible rivals. The females have smaller noses than the male and take care of those of his children that have not yet developed their father's spectacular appendage. While the macaque neighbors continue with their political grooming, Big Nose and his harem have reached the place where they will spend the night. The little proboscis monkeys make limited vertical forays along the trunks, learning to select the right leaves on which to feed, always closely watched over by their mothers, who are happy to have a little time for themselves. The proboscis monkeys live only in Borneo. They are used to seeing below them another strange creature, an animal that very few people have seen, and even fewer filmed.